Sometimes the best way to recharge is to unplug.
Hi, welcome back to the visual. Yay! So, as y'all can see today, I have a guest with me, Alexus.
Period.
I'm gonna let her introduce herself, say whatever she want to say about herself. She's a childhood friend for me. We met in middle school, baby, baby. Come a long way,
A long
way.
way.
So,
Well, my name is Alexus. You know, me and Felicia go way back, the Grove. We was out there. I have a podcast coming real soon, not too soon, but real soon on the way. So stay tuned.
Okay, period. Period. Got like a name or anything? Yeah.
It's called Lex Talk. So
Okay.
LEX Talk. So
okay, I like
it's
that.
on the way. It's on the way.
Okay, period. Stay tuned. I will let y'all know once it's out and tell y'all to go tap in.
Right.
So the title of this podcast, my best friend actually came up with it because I was like telling him pretty much what we were going to discuss: commitment, grace, relationships, not just intimate relationships, but platonic, family relationships, all that good stuff. And he was just like, "To death do us part." And I'm like, "Okay, because that's good because commitment isn't just to your partner when you're in a relationship, but you also make a commitment in friendships because you want to show up as your best self in a friendship." So we're gonna start with the definition of what commitment is. And commitment is the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause, activity, and I'm gonna just add in a person. When discussing commitment, what does commitment look like to you?
So for me, commitment is like showing up, showing up in every capacity, whether it's for a person, a thing, yourself. So just showing up and being there and being your best self. Because you can show up and like half do it, but showing up like 100%, just getting out there.
Yeah.
I think it's commitment to me.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna piggyback off what she said. Don't half-ass anything. Like I'm not a half-asser. Like I don't. If I say I'm gonna do something, then I'm gonna try to show up as my best self, no matter in spite of what I may be going through personally. I think a lot of people need to learn that when you show up to work, leave what you got going on outside, because baby, nobody in that job did nothing to you.
Right.
So show up as your best self at all times because just show up as your best self. Like that's really all I got. Like, I'm not here to pump and pry you. I'm here to just say show up as your best self at all times. If you commit to something, you say that you're gonna do something. A lot of times you've chosen to do it. Nobody has forced you to do it. Right. So it's more so like, why wouldn't you show up as your best self? Because if not, then you're giving off the wrong impression. So what type of impression are you trying to give off when you show up looking crazy?
Right.
Or half-assing something. Right. So I mean, it's really how you want people to, perceive you, and what taste do you want to leave in people's mouth. Like, you show up acting crazy, they're gonna be like, don't call her back.
Yeah, I definitely think it's like a verbal contract. Like it's you're agreeing to do something. So like you breaking a contract, and your word is bond. So if you don't show up how you say you was gonna show up, like contract over.
Exactly. That's good. I like that analogy. Contract is good. So commitment, what does commitment look like for you when it comes to an intimate relationship or versus a friendship versus your family relationships that you have?
Well, heavy on the single.
She says single and ready to mingle.
Single, but as far as like an intimate relationship, you have to show up for somebody in their love language. So like I can't show up for you with things that I like to do. Like I have to figure out what you like to do, so that we can move in the right direction. Because if we're not doing that, like what we doing?
Exactly.
But if that person is committed to not showing you what their love language is, like what are you doing?
Yep.
But as far as family, I'm trying to show up 100%. As I was younger, or even in the state that I'm in now, it's like, okay, like, I'm working, and I'm working, and I'm working, And as you get older, you realize like, okay, like I ain't really showed up for my family like how I was supposed to show up for my family.
Yep.
So trying to go to family events, trying to send those happy birthday texts.
Yep.
When your auntie like all your pictures on Facebook, saying thank you, auntie. You know, trying to comment back on the Facebook post. Showing up for the family because you know that's what you had at first and that's what you're gonna have in the end.
Yeah.
And then as far as friends, girl, you know, showing up for your friends is hard. It's definitely hard. But trying to be there, you know, I suck at texting back. So try to text them back when they need that support. Try to pick up the FaceTime calls. You know, just like, girl, like I'm here.
Yeah.
I'll try to show up.
Yeah.
Those relationships. Yeah.
For me, heavy on the family is all you got. And I think the end of 2023, coming into 2024, it really hit me like that. Like she said, all I do is work. I work and go to church. That's my life. And it's just like, my mom is getting older and we don't think about our parents are getting older and they're not going to be here forever. We're all on borrowed time. So I've been very intentional about showing up to when she hosting a brunch with the family, showing up when she just texts me and say she love me or miss me, because she may not verbally come out her mouth and say, I want to see you, but that's how I take it. So going to see her, going to spend time with my brothers and sisters, my other siblings that my daddy done produced, like we just going, you gonna watch this, you know, you got a lot of them. So going and spending time with my family and making sure my siblings know, like, I'm there, like I care. You can call on me, you can talk to me about anything. So definitely showing up as my best self when I go be around my family. And I feel like around your family is where you can show up more so as your authentic self, because my family already know me. Granted, I'm growing, but they still know me. Like I could be more myself around my family. So definitely agree with that. As far as friendships, I think I'm very intentional. I think I take time out of my day to text my friends or send them a prayer or whatever the case may be, or send them some scriptures or whatever church was about. So I think I'm good with texting, but when it comes to actually spending time and putting time on the calendar and saying like, hey, when do you have time? Like, let's go get something to eat. Let's meet face to face, because I feel like this generation is so technology based. Like we ready to text and an emoji. That's not a real conversation. That's not face to face. Like I can't pick up your emotions through a text message. I mean, I can a little bit sometimes if I know somebody, but it's better face to face so you can get their raw reaction in front of you. So definitely trying to be more intentional this year about spending time with my friends in person, having brunches, going out, doing fun activities we ain't did in a long time, ice skating and stuff like that. So, yeah, but it is harder. The older you get, you realize that you just, time be flying, and it's just like, I don't mean to not hang with you. It's not purposely that I'm doing it, but it's just like, baby, we all got lives, and life be getting real quick. Now, intimate relationships, like she said, heavy on the single. Been single for years, baby, years now. Like, was real dumb over somebody. Like I done told y'all before, I had a name tattooed on me and all. Dumb. And then was in a situationship that didn't even make it to a relationship phase for years, and getting out of that, but just, baby, don't even come to me right now. Like I'm trying to get my relationship right with God. I'm not worried about nobody.
I gotta fix me first.
Okay. But heavy on you can't love people in your love language. Like there's 5 different love languages. I think I need them all. So let me go ahead and tell you, if you step to me, you better be giving them all. Oh, baby, we ain't got nothing to talk about. Okay. But yes, you definitely supposed to show up for people and in a relationship, doing things that they like to do. Not to say that every time it has to be something that they like to do. Compromise is a big word that's in relationships, but showing up and doing things that you know is just going to make them feel good and make them feel seen and make them feel heard, and being your best self. Like you need to be healed, like period. Don't come to nobody with baggage and throwing on them what you was just dealing with in your past relationships, because younger me used to do that, and that will run somebody away. Because
Right.
if it was me right now and somebody was coming to me, I'm not teaching no man how to be no man. So
Right.
let me go ahead and let you know. Come to me healed, or we ain't got nothing to talk about.
Nothing, baby.
All I can do is pray for you. Send you on your way.
All I got is a prayer, baby boy. Nothing else.
All I got. Because God got to do it. I can't do it. Okay? All right, I'm going to read this scripture, Job 42. And it says, and this is NIV version that I read from. After the Lord had said these things to Job, he said to, baby, I don't know how to say these names. So we're going to Eli. I am angry with you and your two friends because you have not spoken the truth about me as my servant Job has. So now take 7 bulls and 7 rams and go to my servant Job and sacrifice a burnt offering for yourselves. My servant Job will pray for you, and I will accept his prayer and not deal with you according to your folly. You have not spoken the truth about me as my servant Job has. So Eli the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite did what the Lord told them, and the Lord accepted Job's prayer. After Job had prayed for his friends, the Lord restored his fortunes and gave him twice as much as he had before. Why I read that scripture, because I love Job 42, because pretty much Job's prayer for his friends was heard. So to me, that showed like a friendship where your friends, where you have the right friendships and your friends pray for you, that sometimes if God is upset with you, if your friends pray on your behalf and add you into their prayers, then your prayers may be answered based off of the friend group that you have, and having friends that think enough about you, pray about whatever you're going through, whatever you need, and to pray for you and telling you when you're wrong. The scripture said God ended up not punishing those Job's friends for what they had done because of Job's obedience. So it's just like, you just have the right friends around you. Like, I'm quick to call one of my friends and be like, hey, this is what's going on with me. My best friend mainly, I'm going through this. This is what I'm feeling. Pray for me. Like, and he's going to do it. So how do you feel about that?
I definitely agree. I mean, as I've got older, and I've gotten new friends, or your friend circle has changed, it's like, you know, you look back and say, okay, like, they weren't for me.
Yeah.
And just because we moved on doesn't mean that we have beef. Yeah. Just, you can show up for me in a capacity that I needed you to show up for me, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know, the friends that I have now, I'm like, I pray for my best friend, I pray for my friends.
Yeah.
But not saying that I wouldn't pray for the past friendships that I did have, but like, I just feel like you weren't praying for me, so you didn't wish me well. So yeah.
Yeah. I feel that the friends I have now, I know they'll pray for me. I know if I tell them to pray for me, that they're going to pray for me. I know that they want good things to happen for me and to me. And I think that's what it's about. Like she said, as you get older, as you grow, your friend groups do change. Sometimes you get lucky, you find that 1, 2, 3 people that stay with you throughout your entire life, but it's very rare. Just because we do change, we do grow up, we stop doing some of the things that we used to do when we were younger and ignorant and just being stupid. and some people still stay stuck in their ways. So you lose friends that way too. But very heavy on the friend group now. Like, I love all my friends, and I want to hit on that. Sometimes you might not talk to your friends 24/7 because we have lives. So it's nice to have friends that understand that if you call me, I'm running and I'm coming. No matter if we ain't talked in a couple of weeks or a month, because life been lifing. If you need me, I'm going to be there for you. So make sure you know what type of friendship or relationship you have with your friends, because all friendships don't look the same with different people. Like, I have friends where I can go a couple of weeks without talking to them, and when we pick back up, it's like nothing changed. But then I also have those friends that I have to talk to every day because so much is going on that if we miss too much time, then baby, it's gonna be a lot trying to catch up. So it's just like
when did you have time to do that? Like, what's going on? But yeah, I've definitely lost friendships because I couldn't show up, or I felt like we'll be able to reconnect later when it's time to catch back up, and then you make that reconnection. You're just like, oh, like I'm not on what you on no more, or you're not on what I'm on anymore, and you now don't understand the life that I'm living right now, and I don't understand the life that you're living, and what's the middle ground of compromising to get back to where you were in that friendship, or it's the question, or do we even want to go back there because you're doing this or I'm doing this? So you gotta grow, baby. You gotta grow. So
like she is dropping the gems, okay? Because definitely have lost friendships. And let me just go ahead and put it out there because I don't care who see. Any friendship that I lost, I don't really.
It's not a loss.
It's really not a loss because I feel like in life, everything happened the way it's supposed to happen. Period.
For sure.
But definitely don't. I cannot sit over here and lie to you. I don't feel like anything is really missing. Like I feel like whenever it's kind of like that. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have seen that picture that goes around where the little girl is holding a teddy bear and God is like trying to give her a bigger bear that's behind his back, and she's like, "But I don't want to let this go." It's just like, baby, them friendships I had was very small. People were small minded. People didn't want to grow. People wanted to be stuck in their ways. Wanted to do what they want to do. Right. Okay, that's cool, but God always got better. So look at it like that with your friendships, relationships, whatever it is. If something is not for you, let it pass. If it's dead, bury it, and let it stay there. No, stop trying to resurrect stuff. Okay,
because relationships serve, like they serve a purpose. So once you stop serving that purpose, like we gotta go. Like what's going on? So yeah, girl.
Period. Next, we're gonna talk about grace in relationships. 2 scriptures I'm gonna read, y'all. Romans 5. Go read the whole thing because I'm just giving y'all one little piece. Verse 8, it says, "But God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." I think that's the ultimate grace that everybody was freely given. And then Ephesians 2:8, it says, "For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves, it is the gift of God." So again, we first were given grace by God, period. So I feel it's only right to give grace to other people because none of us are perfect. We will never be perfect. And so how would you define grace?
I think grace is a covering. I think grace is a lifestyle. And what we've turned grace into is like, okay, they did something wrong, I'm gonna give them grace. Or like, we switched from like changing from like, oh, the grace of God and somebody giving me the grace. But originally, like, the grace came from God. Like God gave us grace when we were even created. And so I just think grace being that covering is like, we do things that we're not supposed to do. And God is like, instead of turning us away, he's just like, okay, like I'm gonna cover you. So like even people who's going through hard times, who's struggling, like, and they didn't know how they was gonna pay the bills, and then something turn around and like, Lord, I was able to pay my bills. Like he covered you through that moment. And so I also think grace is obedience. If you stay obedient, then like God will go bless you. And you gotta I also think grace is an exchange. Because God asks us to be obedient. And so like if you turn around and you're obedient, like God just gave me a business. Like or God just gave me a house. And like look how small obedience is in comparison to what God just gave us. And what God just gave us was the grace to move in the right direction. So like, grace is a bunch of things. But
she's preaching. She's a preacher. She don't know it. She's teaching.
Now she don't know it. But Grace, that's my girl. Grace is my girl. But but what my confusion comes with Grace is like, Are you giving somebody too much grace? Like, but like also it's like, who are we to determine how much grace we can give to somebody when God has gave us all this grace? Like, what's the boundary on grace? But yeah, I'm gonna leave it right there.
Y'all, she gonna preach up. She don't even know it yet. For real.
Okay.
Like, the teacher was teaching. That's good. Y'all better be taking these notes.
Write it down.
Pen and pad. Yeah. That was so good. Oh my God, that was so good. This girl said grace is pretty much covering. Is covering. Oh my God. And obedience. I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I just love everything that she said. Like, I'm just really just over here basking in all of this and taking it in. I think that was a great analogy. I do feel like obedience is the, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to be obedient to get grace. Like you said, I do think it's in exchange. Right. And I think that's what a lot of people miss. I think that a lot of people think because God is so sovereign and he's so gracious that even he doesn't have a boundary with grace. Right. But yeah, I better go read the Bible. That's all I got to say. Because yeah, it does run out.
Absolutely.
So when she mentioned, because I'm not even gonna come after that, baby. What she said grace is, I second it. That's what grace is. Okay.
Don't play.
The boundary piece of when it becomes to be, we're giving out too much grace.
Right.
And I'm gonna touch on something that she said. I'm not God. So we will never be God ever.
Right.
So to expect for a regular human to keep giving you the amount of grace that God gives, I feel is a little crazy. Right. Because
it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. Right. Like God, I can't speak for God because God forgive us every single day when we're doing something we're not supposed to do, even if we don't physically do something we thought something bad. So you need to be repenting daily. But I can't measure his grace and his forgiveness for you because obviously he forgive us all the time for stuff that we do. We're not built to be like that. We just not. We're supposed to be walking like God. So pray and try to be like that. But there has to be a boundary on grace because I feel like if you keep giving grace, people get disrespectful.
Right.
And when does it become I'm accepting disrespect versus giving you grace? And even sometimes in giving people grace, maybe it's just forgiving them and moving on with your life and never talking to them again. I think a lot of people, and I tell my best friend this all the time, forgiveness is key. Like you have to forgive people, move on, but you don't have to allow that person to still have access to you. So I feel the same with grace. I can give you grace, but once I feel like you're abusing my grace, then you don't, now I'm going to cut off access that you had to me because you're abusing my grace. Like it's a difference if somebody genuinely mess up.
Right.
You can get about a good 1-2 times to mess up with me.
That's it.
And genuinely it be a mess up and you really are sorry and apologize and there's sincerity there. But if you're intentionally plotting and doing something on purpose because you're saying, oh, well, she's a good person, or, oh, well, I just know she's working on herself with God. So I know she's just going to let it go.
She's graceful.
Baby. Because what I'm going to do is pray to God that he gets you because you tried to play with me. Right. So very much you have to have a boundary because then people start abusing it. So what has been a time, you ain't got to use no names, that somebody abused your grace? This wasn't even on the script, y'all. I just thought about it.
Let me see. Okay. So, like I work a lot. Like I'm always in the field. And so the job that I have, like I have employees, and 99% of my employees are teenagers. And the area and the demographic that I work in, they're not us. So they're not us. So like they never mopped before, girl. They don't know how to wash dishes. So you have to give them that, right? You have to give them that grace. Like, okay, like you weren't raised how I was raised.
That's crazy.
So, I'm all big on second chances, and it's like, how many times can you rehire somebody? So just the coming of the rehiring employees, like I showed them too much grace. Like, okay, baby, I taught you how to sweep the first time. Why you coming back the second time and you still don't know how to sweep? So just even just allowing people that small little moments of grace, and people they take the opportunity for you because you show this I wouldn't say it's weak, but you show this vulnerable side of yourself, and people just use that to like take advantage of you. Yep. And it's just like, okay, like, nah, you trying to play me. Yeah. you gotta go. So yeah, like, nah, fired. Go on. But what about you? Like, what let me hear it.
Ooh, I feel like I got a lot of examples. We're gonna go relationship based. Okay. Ooh. We're gonna go friendship based.
Okay.
A long time ago. I ain't gonna bring up this. God, give her mercy. Cause baby, somebody I would didn't have a car at the time. And we used to, this was high school too, y'all. People used to go off, leave from the premises during lunchtime to go get food if you had a car. So one of the girls who was cool, but it's like, even if I'm going to go get food, and just because we're friends don't mean that you're going to be in my car every day. Like, it's not a guarantee. Like, just because we're friends, why would you still not feel the need to ask to come with me? I guess is where I'm getting at. Like, instead of just automatically thinking, well, if she's going off campus, then I'm automatically riding with her. Like, I think that's grace to be.
I think that's good, because sometimes grace turns into an expectation. So she expected.
Like, what is wrong with you? Like, baby, you don't know if I'm leaving to go to an appointment. You don't know if I'm not coming back. Like, during that time, especially senior year. Well, I think this was junior year. Maybe senior year, where I didn't even have, all my classes weren't even at my campus. Like, I was taking some college courses at Durham Tech too. So I would like leave half days and go over there. You don't even know where I'm going. So just to be walking in a car with me, like you just going with me, is crazy. And like to have that conversation with somebody about people overstepping boundaries and using up too much grace isn't an easy conversation to have, because then people can feel like, well, you're my friend. Like she said, it's like almost like an expectancy. Like, why wouldn't you do this for me? Like, obviously, if I'm going off campus to get food, I don't mind you riding me. But it's the expectancy, like, still ask, because it's not your car, it's not your gas. And gas don't run off friendship.
Okay, at all.
So yeah, if I don't willingly be like, I'll come get you, or I'll do this for you out the kindness of my heart, don't just be inserting yourself into somebody else's plans, friends or not, because I just feel like now you're taking advantage of people. Now there's an expectancy there that, like, I don't owe you a car ride. I don't. Like, so yeah. And then, child, I'm not even gonna get into what else that friend did, but baby, the grace was really given, because really should have got a beat down for what else she did. But
so how do you have that conversation, like, and say, hey friend, like, I'm your friend, not your Uber driver, like, without it being detrimental to the friendship though? Back then you were saying it.
Back then I want this saved. So baby, it got said how it came out. Lo and behold, me and that person are friends today. Would never be her friend again at all, because more stuff, like I said, came out down the line where that person's character is just nasty and very just disrespectful to a lot of people, not even just me. Like, multiple people have said it. So we not friends. We can just chalk it up to that. We not friends. We will never be friends again. Don't know that woman. Okay. Like Kiki Bama say, sorry to this man. Sorry to that girl. Don't know her. But now, if I was to have that conversation with a friend, I think I'm still blunt, but I would just say it And like, no, I think I still would say it pretty bluntly. Like, don't put an expectation on me or use me up. I still feel like I feel like I have that relationship with all my friends to where I can be blunt and bold with them and say, hey, you made me feel like this. I don't know if that was your intentions. And maybe that's the thing, approaching it not with an attitude or not being angry or not trying to be smart, but saying like, hey, I don't know if you meant to do this,
right,
or you intended for me to feel like this, but this is how I felt. Now let's work through how we gonna change it so it don't happen again. So I think the way I would approach it is different, because back then I would have just blatantly came out my mouth and be like, oh, you think I'm an Uber? Like, oh, you think
right.
there's an expectancy here? And last time I checked, I'm not your boyfriend, your girlfriend, none of that.
Right.
So to just be hopping in my car and not offering no gas is crazy. So
Right.
yeah.
I think I would be like, like, what are you doing to get a car? Like, is this a goal of yours? Like are we moving in that right direction of you getting a car? Like, I mean, but sometimes you realize, like, sometimes you just need to clip the friendship. Like, but if they're not moving in the direction to stop, like, why you want to use all my grace? Yeah. Like, why are you trying to leave me empty and I got to keep going somewhere to fill me up? Like, whether it's the gas or, well, in that situation, it was the gas, but like, you're leaving me empty with something that I have to go fill up. Yeah. So you as a friend, like, when are you going to be able to fill me up? Like, it's just, you gotta like, back to that. It's an exchange. Like, grace is an exchange. Like, you have to be, and not saying something like, okay, I can only be your friend because you do this for me, I do this for you. Yeah. But you gotta do something. Yeah. You have to do something, baby. Because you can't leave me empty. And if I gave all my grace to you, like, where is the room? And I did that in a friendship. Where is the room for me to give grace in a relationship or with my family? Like, you took all the grace, and how is that fair to them when you use me? Like,
y'all, she is preaching. Like, I'm gonna keep saying it because she is teaching y'all. Take these notes.
Yeah, don't allow nobody to use you up. You gotta fill me up first.
Okay, and that's with every relationship. We talking about friendships, platonic, but that's any intimate, platonic, your family relationships. All of them could use you up, right? And it's not fair. Because like we said, you need to show up as your best self. Like we were saying earlier, it's hard to show up as your best self when everybody is draining you. Right. When relationships are depleting you. Everything's supposed to be an exchange. Even outside of grace, there should be some reciprocity in a friendship. Right. What are you teaching me? What are you bringing to the table? Actually, every time we talk, it shouldn't just have to be me talking. I used to be like that when I was younger. I used to just love to talk. But now I catch myself and I'm like, why am I carrying the conversation? Because then that made me feel like, why are we friends? Like, if I can't, a conversation is two people conversing back and forth. It's not me talking at you. It's not me just telling you my thoughts and opinions. Like, you should be pouring into me as much as I'm pouring into you. And it doesn't have to be a monetary exchange, as the example that we had earlier with the saying like, here's some gas money. But just to have that thought process of like, oh, I'm always around with my friend, and my friend may not ask me for the money, but because I appreciate my friend, I'm gonna just offer her gas money today because she just does this for me every day and I don't ask her to. Like, it's about just being a good friend. Like, I don't know, like, be a good friend. It's not hard. So when it comes to relationships, I just feel like relationships are so easy. Like, whatever you would want somebody to do to you, do it back. Like, loyalty is a big thing across the board and in every single platonic, intimate family relationships. And sometimes loyalty can get you in trouble though, because you'll feel like you can't cut somebody off because you want to be so loyal to them or because you are so loyal to them. Sometimes people just need to be cut off. So don't let loyalty mess up and warp your mind and get you like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, because it's gonna da. Like, if the relationship is not serving you, family, it don't matter who it is. If it's not serving you and people are depleting you and just always take and never trying to give back, cut them off. They're like, baby, don't matter how much grace you give them, some people are just users and they're just gonna
Right.
use until you pull the plug.
Right.
Like podcast unapologetically unplugged.
Period.
Go listen.
Tune in. Okay.
So now we're gonna talk about standards in relationships.
Oh boy.
Woo! So, oh well, she said this, so I'm gonna just repeat it. Stop giving out information and start giving out standards. I just like that, like stamp it.
Period.
And so, are today's standards getting out of hand, or are we right where we need to be as a generation? I'm gonna let Alexus take this.
Y'all are wilding out. Like, y'all are wilding out. The standards are definitely changing. Like, the standards are low. Like, I feel like at this point we can't even pick them up. They so low. Like, they are low. Like, in like with relationships, with like job standards, like with like personal standards. Like, I just feel like they're so low. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, it's just room for error across the board. Like, I don't know. Well, okay, this is what I'm gonna say about standards. I feel like we all have our personal standards. Standards that we want to uphold. And, you know, sometimes I think God puts people in our life so that, you know, we can see a new standard.
Yeah.
And so that it can broaden our worldview on how we see other people.
Yeah.
And that's important. And then I think sometimes you're so stuck on your own standard that you're not looking at somebody else's standard and you can't see their worldview. And then you're just blocking that blessing for God because God's trying to put you on by bringing this person in your life. So yeah, I don't know, but I do think as a generation like that, we need to open up and not accept somebody's standards, but see their standards and see where they're coming from as a person. And, you know, standards should be a continuation of growth. Like, you don't keep like the same standards we had at Lowe's Grove, baby. We don't got right now
at all. Like, wouldn't even date none of them again.
Right, we shouldn't have them right now. Yeah. Like, but you know, some people you talk to from middle school or you talk to from high school, and it's like you still on that. Like, you still have that same standard. Yeah. Like, you look, we ain't at the library no more. We gotta change, baby. We have to change. I don't know. Standards are iffy.
She said we're not at the library no more. Y'all didn't catch that, but that's okay. Baby, because all I had at the library.
Okay. That library was something else, baby.
Who, child?
That's another story, so.
No, for real. I'm about to bring up that. But the standards are on the floor. Seriously. Will I say put it on the floor? Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I
please.
Like, and I like what she said about personal standards, that we all have personal standards. I feel like personal standards come from how we all navigate life and do life and what we personally have experienced, which will shape our standards, the environments we are in. But it is important to take other people's standards into consideration, like she was saying, and to be open-minded to other people's opinions and thoughts on what they may say. And also, I love what she said about God sometimes bringing you a person to show you a better standard, or bringing you a person less than to show you what you don't want and what is it the standard. Right. So just being mindful of that and being open to other people, because your way isn't the only way to do so. Like, it's just not. Like, 9 + 1 is 10, but also 5 + 5 is 10. Like, it's different ways to get to 10. Right. So had that perspective on life to just be open to other people's standards. And when it comes to relationships, the standards are extremely low right now. Like, it's not everybody, obviously, and we always want to generalize, but it is a good majority of people who social media has mess y'all heads up. Y'all think it's reality and it's not. And y'all want all females to be a size 2 with a big butt, or y'all want all men to be real ripped and can pick you up. Like, it's just the standards are just not, it's not reality. Like, you can say you want somebody to be fit. Okay, that's a cool standard. That's something that a lot of people could live up to. But it's just like a lot of y'all standards are influenced by social media, and it's just like, y'all. First of all, y'all be idolizing people, relationships, friendships, situationships. Krishana Blueface is probably the most trending people I saw last year. The most toxic, detrimental relationship in America, and y'all was eating it up. Like, and then wonder why you then eternally start dealing with people that is showing you the same characteristics as Blueface or Krishan, and you think that it's cute and it's funny. Like, your standards are low, baby. They're low. Like, social media really got y'all head messed up. Like, you should want somebody to be nice to you, kind to you, because you deserve for somebody to be nice and kind to you in relationships and friendships and with your family. Like, and I've heard a lot of times people say that, like, your family is your first bully. I just feel like that is so disgusting. Like, it will never be me in my household if I decide to have kids, because that's just not how it's supposed to be. Like, I don't know why y'all think that certain things are normal, or we've normalized things to where y'all have these standards of like, oh, this is just what it is. This is just my life. Like, baby, everybody didn't grow up like that, and everybody don't have that intention to want to hurt you or to hurt you. So just to be open, like Alexus was saying, to other people's standards, because then it'll make you realize when you get around somebody that do know how to treat you right, that you need to up your standards, and then cut off the people that don't fit them standards, that aren't coming and meeting the standard, and they are not up to par.
Because sometimes your standards can block your blessings. Yeah. So, like, you know, I heard somebody say, like, just because you can't see somebody else's word view, like, don't miss the word. Like, they're bringing with them. Like, don't, you know, just because he a generous baby, you know, you might can do something with that. Exactly. you might can do something with that. So, you know, not to say that I don't have standards, but like, I'm just open to see somebody else's standards. Yeah. So if I'm not going for you off the strength that you don't drive the car that I want you to drive, or you don't live where I want you to live, or you don't have all these like shallow things that I want you to have. Because at the end of the day, like, not saying build a man, because I'm not doing that at this point in my life, but like, you know, compromise. Like, if you can't compromise from the beginning, like, why do you think that you're going to be able to compromise 3 years down the line because you decided to stay in that toxic relationship when you didn't have any standards? Like, so there is, maybe you better set the tone at the beginning so you don't have to do it later, because I ain't doubling back.
Let's step that. That's another note. Take down. Set the tone from the jump. So it's never, oh, you didn't tell me this, or I didn't know. You knew. Right. You knew.
Right. And I feel like also setting that tone allows the building of grace, or for them to have that grace. You know, sometimes people like create a space for like something's going bad in their life, and they just expect the bad. Like, you know, this bad is going to happen. This going to happen. Nothing positive. Like, use that space that you're creating negativity in, and empty the space out so God can pour some grace in, so that you can get the grace, because grace is a cover, and once He cover you up, you good. But He can't cover you up because you already all covered up with the negativity that's gonna happen. But again, with that, don't allow or be in a toxic relationship because you think that you're offering people too much grace. Like, don't allow yourself to get mistreated, abused, and use grace as an excuse. Because at this point, doing the same thing over and over again, baby, isn't grace, it's insanity. And if you choose to be insane in a relationship, baby, that's up to you. That ain't got nothing to do with God. It ain't got nothing to do with that man. Like, if you allow the same thing over and over for somebody to do that to you, like, you're insane. I can't help you. Nobody can help you.
All of that, like, she's a preacher. Like, I'm gonna keep saying because she is. Like, I want to touch everything she just said first. The covering, yo, negative A mindset is what got y'all messed up.
Right.
The power of life and death lies in your tongue. Mind your mouth. Mind your words. When you say I'm sick, you're gonna be sick. When you say I'm gonna have a bad day, you're gonna have a bad day. Like, speak out into the atmosphere of what you want your day to be, how you want to be. You need to be healed. Stay you're healed. Start speaking that you're healed. It's all about your mindset. Oh, that was such a good analogy. If you're already covered up with a negative mindset, then where is the room for God to pour his grace in? That was so good to me. That was so good to me. Okay. Next, using grace as an excuse to stay in something toxic. This applies to all the relationships we've been talking about. Again, platonic, intimate, family relationships. If it's toxic and you're using grace as an excuse, it indeed is insanity at this point, because I just don't feel God didn't put you here to get disrespected and to be hurt by people. Right. So you can never convince me that he did. So, or he wouldn't have gave us the grace he gave us willingly, knowing what we were going to be doing in our lives and doing against him. So I'm not saying that toxic no more, baby. Used to be on that. Used to think it was cute. Used to think, oh, this person they just really love me. They just really care about me. Right. No. Love did not supposed to be crazy. Right. It just don't. Like, it don't. So stop using grace as an excuse. That was so good to me. That was good. Pick y'all standards up from off the flow. Okay. In 2024, let's set a new standard. This is like the first episode in 2024 that's coming out. So set y'all standards, set the tone right now. In your friendships, your family, your intimate relationships. If you single, cool, you dating, set the standard now. Right. Don't be dating people that you know that you really ain't gonna give your time to, or they not meeting the standard just because you bored and want to be doing something. Like, because we getting old, baby. Wasting time ain't cute. Let me tell you, it's not. Don't waste my time. Next, I want to ask you, what are some non-negotiables when it comes to standards and your relationships with friends, intimate, family?
My non-negotiables are, for all three of them, is if you're doing something to me that's like, well, I'll say, like, it's hard for me to say no. So I overcommit to a lot of things, and my drive to do things is like, it's an overdrive. But when I'm on the road to crashing out, and some of the things that I'm helping you do in your personal life, and you notice that I'm crashing out, but it's still benefiting you, and you keep allowing me to do those things, it's just like, okay, I know you see me struggling because I told you I was struggling. And if you're not willing to help take some of the stuff off my plate to allow me to stop struggling, then it's just like, okay, like, what are you doing to me? Like, you're killing me. Like you're stabbing me slowly. And then just non-negotiables in a relationship is like, I feel like I got a lot.
Give us your top three.
Disrespect is definitely a non-negotiable. I'll leave that at that one. Just disrespect, because disrespect can go for a lot of things. Yeah. Like, you can disrespect me and you feel like you're not disrespecting me, but you are. And just the actions that you take every single day. Like, I don't know, you gotta care about me. Like, you gotta wake up and choose me every single day. Like, I feel like if we're in a relationship, you have to choose me
daily.
Like, it's a choice, it's a commitment. And when we decided that we were going to be in this relationship or this friendship, like, we were committed to showing up for each other every single day. So at the point in time where you wake up that day and you feel like you don't want to show up for me, like,
like, no, for real.
Like, we're done because you didn't choose me today. But I as committed as I am, I'm waking up every single day and I'm choosing you. So if that's just not reciprocated, then I gotta go.
Hello. this was good. I'm gonna pick back off that too. Especially with the showing up piece, because I feel like I do feel like disrespect is the main thing in any relationship that can mess something up, and it can go for a variety of things. And one thing that she said that I wanted to touch on is, even if you wake up and you not having a good day, or you just know that you're in one of your moods, I still feel like showing up for me is letting me know ahead of time, hey, I'm not feeling it today. So I may be a little distant, but it's not you.
Right.
I just need a day. Because you still actively pushed your feelings to the side for that moment, to let me know that, hey, it's not you, to validate me, to reassure me that I just need a day. And sometimes we just need days, because sometimes I need days, baby. I don't be wanting to be bothered by nobody. But that don't mean that the person, my friends, it don't mean that the person I may be in a relationship with, maybe talking to, that don't mean that my family did something to me. It just means I need a day to myself.
Right.
But to be able to let people know that and communicate that, I feel like communication is so key. That, I would say, is one of my non-negotiables. If you don't know how to communicate, I don't do all the yelling no more. Like, we grown. Like, as soon as you get the yelling on the phone, I'm hanging up on you mid-sentence, because I'm not. I pay bills now. Like,
I pay bills now.
You're not
going
to be yelling at me, baby. Like, I'm not nobody kid, but two people that had me. So, and even I don't even let them yell at me.
Right.
Okay, watch your tone when talking to me, because it's just the way. It's the way. It's all how you say something. Like, it's all in the way you say stuff. So communication and disrespect, yeah, I would probably put them up there, because that's a non-negotiable for me in anything.
Right.
Friendships, family, intimate, all of that. If you can't communicate, if you disrespectful, if you, like she said, you do something disrespectful and then you try to tell me like, oh, that's not what I meant. But if I took it disrespectfully, if you really care about me, go ahead and apologize.
Right.
I think that'd be the problem. Y'all be too upset. Y'all pride and y'all egos be messing up genuine friendships with people, because you're so prideful, and you're going to keep losing out on good people if you continue to live your life in pride and feeling like you can never apologize. I literally have a new motto in life that I say, and it's approach everything as a student, because you don't know everything. So if you have that mindset, then you won't mind apologizing or say, oh, I didn't know this, or oh, okay, thank you for teaching me this, or yeah, you're right, I could have did that better. Like, just always stay in a student mentality of being able to learn something from somebody else. So
agree.
Yeah, because we not playing that in this season.
Okay, in 2024.
Like, how old are you? We too grown.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's it. That's literally it. We're gonna close this out with a prayer. Yes, I did type this prayer out, because that's what I'm gonna do. So, dear God, we come to you saying first, thank you. Psalms 104, the Message version translation, states to enter into your presence with the password thank you. Therefore, we exalt your name and say thank you for everything we have. Before we even ask and petition anything from you, we say thank you for who you are. You're the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and you're not man that you shall lie. Therefore, anything we decree in your name and declare with the power you placed on the inside of us must come to pass. As long as we believe it and work for it, but most importantly, as long as it fits your will, then God, it's your bill. God, we say thank you for waking us up, giving us activity of our limbs, blood running through our veins, clothed in our right mind, and we come to you humbled to ask that you will provide us with the right Platonic relationships and intimate relationships in this new year and season. We ask that our non-negotiable standards match up with yours, God. Any relationship or person coming to us must meet these standards of your standards first, God, and foremost. But if our standards are pleasing to you, God, can you please allow the people that find us to carry reciprocity? Meaning, anything that we do for them out of the willingness of our own hearts, or that we do out of love, and that we do without seeking praise from them, they will have the same compassion, love, grace, and kindness towards us. We are deserving of positive, joyful, Platonic, family, and intimate relationships, meaning that they aren't filled with envy, jealousy, bitterness, resentment, rejection, or any type of plotting against us. Because God states in Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Therefore, God doesn't give us bad relationships, but we do it when we work on our own accord. God, we repent for trying to do what we want when you have already written out our story. We ask that you forgive us in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Amen. Yes,
And
Lord.
that is the end of this episode. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and when her podcast drop, baby, tap
Okay,
in.
tap
Period.
in.